Humanity, Season 2, Episode 8, Sins of the Sister, the mid-season finale.
Alex and Chloe are sitting on their house's backyard porch. Alex says, "I'm sorry about earlier. I don't know why I got so mad." Chloe smiles. "It's okay, Alex. It happens. You don't have to be sorry. I was out of line too." Alex says, "Why do we always have to get into these stupid fights and arguments, Chloe?" Chloe smiles again. "It's just family, Alex. Family always fights here and there." Alex says, "Never thought of it like that." Chloe says, "There's something I want you to remember, and I want you to remember it well. No matter what happens, no matter how much we change, we always start and end as family." Alex smiles and hugs Chloe as we see a flash to the current day. Alex is kneeling outside the motel as the sun is rising. We see he has his hands in a prayer. "Lord, I ask that you see me through this, that you see Chloe through this. Whatever God these people have her believing in, I know it's not you. I ask for my sister's forgiveness. Please, save her from these people. Help her find her real family again. Help me bring her home. Don't let the sins of my sister bring her down. I'm begging you. Amen." At the Salvation, there is a storm brewing over the farm as we see Chloe kneeling and praying with other members of the congregation. Gina is standing in front of them as she says, "We are the servants of the Lord, and He has chosen us to do His work. We have a fight coming, an inevitable fight, and we must be ready to fight once it's here. We will overcome this and become stronger. May the Lord see us through this." Chloe, along with the other praying cultists, say the same thing. May the Lord see us through this. Back at the motel, Alex gets up as Kelly walks up to him. "You alright?" Alex says, "I am. I was just seeking out God, asking for His help." Kelly says, You think He'll answer?" Alex says, "I got hope for that, Kelly. There's one thing I know about God, is He loves to forgive. The Lord that these people believe, that is not the Lord I know." Kelly smiles. "Glad that even after everything, you still have your faith. Thanks to you, I feel like I still have mine." Alex smiles and says, "I just can't wait to end this. Go home. I'm really starting to miss the people over there." Kelly says, "Can't wait to see my dad again. I miss Viola a lot too. I remember I was going to teach her how to get better at shooting before we left." Alex says, "I should probably go. Me, Jeff, and Tor need to gear up to head out." Kelly says, "You sure you don't want me going with you?" Alex looks at her and says, "Look, I know you want the help. You're still recovering. I don't want to put you through anything right now." Kelly smiles and says, "If that's what you want, then okay. Just please, be careful. I love you." Alex and Kelly kiss as Alex walks away. Back at the Salvation, Chloe is in the armory with a congregation member named Doug. Doug asks, "Sorry to hear about what your brother did. I know getting hurt by your family is tough, but all you gotta do now is fight for your new family." Chloe says, "Just don't want to think about it, Doug. Let's just gear up and get out on patrol." Chloe grabs an assault rifle and Doug grabs a pistol as the two walk out. Back at the motel, Alex, Jeff, and Torrin are all gearing up. Alex loads a pistol and holsters it. Jeff and Torrin grab rifles as Torrin says, "Come on, kid. Let's go get your sister." Alex smiles as Alice, Jeff, and Torrin walk out of the room they are in. As we see Alex, Jeff, and Torrin walking out, we cut back to Chloe and Doug who are also walking. We then continue to see the scenes cut back and forth as we then zoom in on Chloe and Alex's faces. Later, Alex, Jeff, and Torrin are walking up a hill. As they reach the top of the hill, we see it is overlooking the Salvation. Jeff pulls out a pair of binoculars and looks while Torrin and Alex stay down to avoid detection. Alex asks, "What can you see, Jeff?" Jeff says, "A couple guards roaming around, mainly in front of the farm. Back is less guarded, probably our best chance of getting in." Torrin says, "So we keeping this quiet?" Alex says, "For as long as we can. We get Chloe and we try to convince her to leave with us. If anyone stands in our way, then we kill them." Jeff says, "You and I will go in. Torrin, you hang outside, just in case something happens." Torrin says, "Alright, good luck to you two." Jeff and Alex slowly head down towards the farm as they prepare to invade. Alex, Jeff, and Torrin are in the forest near the fence as they wait for an opening. We see one of the cultists walks away and gives Alex and Jeff a way in. Torrin says, "Good luck, guys. Be careful." Alex and Jeff then walk to the fence and jump in. The pair quickly run to a trailer to hide. Jeff says, "Alright, so Rosa said Chloe's trailer is trailer number 12, so we need to go there. If she isn't there, maybe we can talk her into coming with us, and then we can get out of here without firing a shot." Alex says, "Hope things don't get too messy. So far so good though." Jeff and Alex slowly move trailer to trailer, avoiding guards. As the pair are coming up on trailer 12, we see Gina walking by. Jeff whispers to Alex, "Get down." Both Alex and Jeff hide in an opening under a trailer as we hear a guard talk to Gina. "Hey Gina, we might have a situation." Alex and Jeff look at each other, nervous that Torrin might have been caught. Gina asks, "What is it?" The guard says, "Pierce and I spotted a large pack of the dead nearby on our run. We just got back from it." Gina asks, "How many?" The guy says, "Probably over 100. Should we send out a group to deal with it?" Gina says, "Not worth the risk. Not right now, at least. We need all hands on deck over here right now. We could be getting attacked at any moment, and we need as many people here as possible to deal with that when the time comes." The guard says, "If that's what you think is right, then alright. I'm gonna go back to my post." Gina says, "Be safe." Gina and the guard leave as Jeff and Alex look at each other and take a breath. Alex whispers, "So, there's a horde coming." Jeff says, "Sounds like it. More of a reason for us to get out of here quickly. Let's just hope Torrin is safe." Alex says, "Okay, let's just get to the trailer and hope Chloe is there." Alex and Jeff make it to trailer 12 and slowly go inside. Alex and Jeff enter the trailer and begin looking around. Alex enters Chloe's room but does not find her. He looks through the drawers and finds an old family photo of him, Chloe, and his parents standing together. Alex stares at the photo and sheds a tear as Jeff comes in and says, "Hey, you good?" Alex says, "I'm gonna find her, Jeff." We then hear the door of the trailer open as Jeff says, "Hide." Alex hides in a closet as Jeff hides under Chloe's bed. We see a congregation member enter the room. He notices the drawers opened. Alex clenches his knife, waiting to attack. We then see the man look under the bed and spot Jeff. Alex reacts instantly and bursts out of the closet, pulls out his knife, and slits the man's throat, killing him. Jeff looks at Alex as he whispers, "You sure you're okay doing that?" Alex says, "When it comes to my family, I will do anything. Besides, I don't give a crap about these zealots." Jeff says, "Alright, we should move before they realize that this guy is away from his post." Back with Torrin, we see Torrin is doing knife tricks with Amber's dagger. We see two infected are heading Torrin's way. Torrin sighs as he walks up to the infected and stabs one of them in the head. But as he is going to stab the other infected, it is shot in the head. Torrin turns around to see Doug with a gun pointed at him. Torrin tries to reach for his gun, but then he hears Gina say, "Don't." We see Gina and 4 other congregation members standing there. She then says, "Well, I guess the invasion has begun." Torrin looks nervous as we see Doug walks up to him. Jeff and Alex hear the gunshot and look at each other as they try to get out of the trailer. But then we hear Gina shout, "Alex Cordon, I know you're here. We found your guy. And if you and everyone you're here with do not come out right now, he will have his head blown off." Alex and Jeff have their guns at the ready. Jeff says, "I don't know, man. There's too many of them. We can't risk Torrin's life." Alex holds his gun and says, "Jeff, I have a clear shot at that lead bitch's head. I can take her out right now." Jeff says, "And what then? They kill Torrin, then they kill us." Alex hesitates and lowers the gun. Jeff does the same, as the two both go outside with their hands up. Alex looks at the crowd outside aiming guns at him, and we see Chloe is among them. Chloe looks at him and says, "You shouldn't have come here, Alex. I know why you're here. You're here to kill me." Alex says angrily, "Is that what they told you?" Chloe says, "They said you killed our people on the road. You showed no mercy. They didn't want to hurt you, and you killed them." Jeff says, looking at Gina, "Get your facts straight, bitch. That's not what happened." Chloe says, "I'm done with your lies, Alex. You have hurt me enough." Alex looks at Gina and says, "What have you done to her, you sick bitch?" Gina says, "I saved her from people like you. People like you are animals, nothing more." Alex looks at Gina with a fearless look and says, "Gina, I'm gonna give you one chance. You will either let me, my uncle, my friend, and my sister go right now, or I will make your death unbelievably agonizing." Chloe says, "See, Alex, you are a monster. The way you speak just says it all. Gina is right. My brother died the day he shot me at that auto shop." Alex says, "You believe what you want to believe, Chloe, but I will not stop fighting for you, no matter what. No matter what this bitch puts in your head, I will fight for you. Family is everything to me, and I will not stop. I will keep fighting for you till my last breath." Gina says, "Enough of this." She walks between both groups and says, "I know exactly how we can settle this." Chloe says, "What are you talking about, Gina?" Gina says, "Well, Chloe, don't you see what's happening here? Don't you see what God wants from you, Chloe?" Chloe says, "What does he want?" Gina says, "You need to kill your brother. It's your calling." Chloe says, "Gina, wait, we don't have to do this." Gina says, "It's what the Lord wants, and it's what the Lord will get. And that is exactly what will happen. However, the Lord is fair. So I will give your brother a fighting chance. However, I doubt it'll go his way." Alex begins tearing up and says, "Please, don't do this, Gina. It doesn't have to go down like this. I will do anything you want. Just please don't make me hurt my sister." Jeff steps in. "Gina, I'll tell you what. Let my nephew and niece along with Torrin go, and you can kill me. You wanted me dead all this time, from the start. You can have me, but they leave before you kill me." Alex says, "No, Jeff. Nobody is dying here. Nobody except these monsters. We will leave this place, all of us together as a family." Gina says, "Your antics bore me, Alex Cordon. But tonight, that ends. Bring them to the ring." Later, Alex and Chloe are standing in the ring with torches lit in around them. We see the pit of the dead sits in the middle. We see the ring is surrounded by the congregation, and we see Jeff and Torrin are tied up on their knees. Alex has guns pointed at him as Gina comes out and says, "Tonight, we end this feud between blood siblings," which is fitting, as that is the only thing these two share. Nothing else. There's only one way to end a feud like this. A feud between siblings can only be ended if only one of them is left standing. You two will fight till one of you is in that pit. Whoever comes out will be chosen by the Lord. So I really hope you are in good graces with him, because now it is time. The time has come for Judgment Day for the Cordon family. Alex says, "Why do you all listen to her shit? She does not know what she's talking about. She is manipulating all of you. She saw you guys were weak, and she played you guys, and used you guys, and she got into your heads. You all drank the Kool-Aid, but it doesn't have to be that way. If you lower your guns and let me and my family go, we can end this. No more blood has to be spilled on either side. We all live. I come from a place that is safe. We can all go there together. We need people there. Maybe if we have that, we could build something truly special there. Something that can make this world a better place. Gina here does not know what she's talking about. She does not speak through the Lord. She is full of it. The Lord wouldn't want all this. He wouldn't create this world. The Lord is all loving. He is all about forgiveness, not punishment and suffering. Whatever Gina has you believing is nothing the Lord would want. And you also have a chance to end this. He will forgive all of you if you just see the real Lord and accept Him, not whoever this fraud thinks she is. Gina says, "Big words coming from your position, Alex." Alex says, "I'm just trying to make them see what you won't let them see." Gina says, "I've heard enough of this. It's time for this to end." Chloe looks at Alex and looks around, seeing the cult watching. Alex says, "You don't have to do this, Chloe. We can go home together." Chloe says, "No, we can't. There's only one way this ends." Jeff screams, "Chloe, your father would not want this for you." One of the cultists hits Jeff as Chloe looks at Jeff saying, "My father is long dead, Jeff." Alex walks up to Chloe and slowly says, "We don't have to fight. You can still come back from this." Chloe looks at him and has tears in her eyes as she has flashes to Jason's death and her shooting Mike and then her being shot by Alex. Chloe throws a punch at Alex and Alex falls to the ground. She then begins throwing punches at him that Alex keeps blocking. He begs, "I'm not fighting, Chloe. Please stop this." Chloe says, "You're not my brother. You never were. You're just another monster like the rest of them." She punches Alex in the nose, breaking it. Alex says, "I love you." Chloe hits him and says, No, you don't. You hate me. You always did." Alex says, "That's not true. I have always loved you and I always will." Chloe punches him again. "I know what you're doing. You're trying to get inside my head so you can kill me. That's what you want, isn't it?" Alex says, "No, it isn't. There is not a single thing on this planet that you could do that will ever make me hate you. You are my sister, and whether or not you see me as your brother, that doesn't matter. I will always love you." Chloe just keeps beating Alex, continues to punch him as he is extremely bloody now. She then says, "Shut up!" Alex is crying as he has been defeated. We see Doug grab Alex and drag him to the pit. Jeff says, "Chloe, don't do this. You know deep down this isn't right." Chloe looks at Alex with tears in her eyes as Gina says, "End this, Chloe. Show your loyalty to the Lord." Alex spits blood on the ground and says, "Even if you kill me, Chloe, I will always love you. I will always watch over you." Alex closes his eyes and prepares for the blow as he has flashes to Mike, Landon, Corey, Cassie, William, and his father. Out of nowhere, 3 cultists are gunned down. Chloe is distracted. Alex quickly gets up and pushes Doug inside of the pit. We see he is eaten alive as he screams. Alex picks up Doug's gun that he dropped as the cultists run for cover after the shots from the woods. Alex raises his gun and shoots 2 cultists dead. He runs to Torn and Jeff and cuts them free. A cultist comes up to them about to shoot them, but then that cultist is shot in the head. Alex turns around and sees Kelly standing there with a shotgun, with Rosa, Lennon, and Jan behind her, all holding guns. The group then runs for cover as now an all-out war has begun. Our group is pinned in cover. We see Jeff and Torn shooting at the cultists as Alex looks at Kelly and screams, "I thought I told you not to come." Kelly fires a gun at the cult and says, "Well, things would have turned up way worse if I didn't." Torn says, "Look guys, we cannot just stay here. We need a plan. We do not have the bullets for this." Lennon says, "I got a plan." Lennon points out a tractor not far away from them and says, "If I can get to that tractor, I might be able to get a better angle on these guys." Jeff says, "Okay, I'll go with you." Rosa says, Okay, we'll cover you. Be careful. Alex, Torin, Rosa, Kelly, and Jen all shoot outside of cover and cover Jeff and Torin and manage to kill 5 of the cultists. Jeff and Lennon get to the tractor and then they both get an angle and shoot 2 cultists dead. 2 more cultists come out of the farmhouse. Alex shoots one in the shoulder as we see the wounded cultist pull out a hand grenade and toss it at Alex's group. Kelly looks down and screams, "Scatter! Now!" Alex, Kelly, Rosa, and Jen get out of the way of the grenade. As we see, in slow motion, Torin pick up the grenade and throw it back at the cultists. The grenade blows up on the cultists and kills them, and lights part of the farmhouse on fire. Torin runs for cover behind the gallows as he fires at the few remaining cultists. We see a cultist come behind Torin and put a knife to his throat. Torin notices that this is Amber's dagger at his throat. The guy says, "You're the guy that had this knife. No idea why you would carry this thing. It's bloody useless. It's pathetic." Torin says angrily, "It was my daughter's. I made it for her not long after this all started." The guy says, "So that's who Amber is. Well, since you had it on you, I doubt it did her any good. Looks like she failed God." Torin, enraged, breaks away from the guy and breaks his arm. The guy screams as Torin grabs the dagger back and then stabs the man in the throat repeatedly. Alex is in cover with Kelly as they both shoot. We then see Alex look in the distance as we see a horde of the dead approach the farm. Alex says, "As if things can get any worse, now we have the dead here." We see a cultist shooting at them and turn around to see the infected close. The cultist shoots a couple of the infected, but is overpowered and eaten alive. 2 cultists shoot from the top of the farmhouse. Alex fires back at them, but runs out of ammo. Alex looks at the barn as he sees Chloe and Gina running to it, with Chloe killing the infected. Alex looks at Kelly and says, "I see Chloe and Gina. Now's my chance to end this and get my sister back." Kelly says, "Okay, I'm going with you." Alex says, "No, you have done enough, Kelly. I need to do this alone, okay? I need you to stay here with our people. I just need you to cover me, okay? Be ready to haul ass out of here once I'm out. This horde is only going to keep coming." Kelly nods at Alex as Alex runs for the barn. Kelly shoots at the cultist on top of the farmhouse and kills him. As Alex runs to the barn, we see him kill every infected in his way. He reaches the barn and heads inside as the infected close in on him. Alex enters the barn with his gun raised. He looks around and sees Gina standing at the other side. Alex points his gun at her and says, "Well, look at this. Your whole group is gone, Gina. I guess God chose his side. And it certainly is not yours." Gina says, "You and your people will get what is coming to you. Whether it happens today or 4 years from now, you will get what's coming. Somebody will take you down." Alex says, "I'll worry about that when the time comes." We hear a gun cock behind Alex. We hear Chloe say, "Drop the gun, Alex. It's over." Alex drops the gun and turns around to see Chloe along with 2 cultists pointing guns at him. Gina asks, "This all we have left?" One of the guys says, "Yes, they killed them all. It's absolute chaos out there." Gina looks angry and looks at Chloe and says, "Shoot him, Chloe. End this now." Alex says, "Chloe, you don't have to do this. She is manipulating you. She has been doing that since the start." Chloe says, "No, stop. You chose Kelly over me, Alex. Clearly you don't care about me." Gina says, "Chloe, what are you doing? Shoot him." Alex says, "Chloe, I know she told you that I killed some of your people on the road, and that is true. However, she twisted the story. They attacked us first, and knowing Gina's track record, I think she sent them to kill me. She wanted me dead because she thought I was going to be a distraction to you." Gina says, "That's bullshit and you know it. Chloe, he is nothing but a liar. He is just waiting for an opportunity to kill you. Kill him now." Chloe holds the gun at Alex and says, "Why would you want to save me after what I did to Mike? What can you do for me that these people can't?" Alex says as he begins crying, "I can give you something that they won't give you. Forgiveness. I forgive you for what you did to Mike. I forgive you for everything that you have done. These people won't do that. The second you give them a reason, they will kill you. They don't care. If I had fought back and killed you in the ring earlier, they wouldn't care. They would just replace you. You are nothing but a pawn to them. Gina says, "Stop with these lies, Alex. I don't know what you're doing or what you're thinking, trying to manipulate someone like this." Chloe begins crying as she says, "You really forgive me?" Alex says, crying, "I do, Chloe. I just want my sister back. You know Mom and Dad wouldn't want this for us. You said it yourself. No matter what happens, no matter what changes, we always start and end as family." Chloe begins crying uncontrollably as she slowly lowers the gun. Gina angrily says, "What are you doing, foolish child?" Gina points at her two soldiers and says, "Kill them both. She has failed the test. She is lost." Chloe quickly turns around, raises her gun, and kills both cultists. She then turns the gun to Gina and shoots her in the stomach, making her fall to the ground. Alex looks speechless as Chloe aims the gun at Gina's head. Gina says, holding her wound, "You made a big mistake, child." She spits blood as she says, "God will hunt you down. He will make all of you suffer." Chloe says, "No, God won't make them suffer. All this time, you made me think he was saving me from my real family, but all that was bogus. The real God has made me see clear again. He's made me see you for who you are, and now I know what he did. He was saving me from you." Gina says, "Wait, Chloe. You can still make this right. You and your brother and his people can join me. We can make this work." Chloe says, "I'd rather be dead than work for you again. You turned me against one of the few people in this world that truly loved me and never gave up on me. You are the definition of everything God hates." Chloe shoots Gina in the head and kills her. Alex looks at Chloe as she turns around and puts her gun to her own head. Alex screams, "No!" Chloe cries and says, "I don't deserve this, Alex. After everything I've done, I hurt you and so many people. I deserve to be dead, just like Gina." Alex slowly walks towards Chloe. "When I said I forgave you, I wasn't lying. I meant every word of it. And I think God forgives you too. He saved you, Chloe, and he would want you to live and make things right again." Chloe says, "What about Derek, Kelly, Corey, Cassie? What are they going to think?" Alex says, "Let me take care of that, Chloe. Please, let's just go home." Alex grabs the gun from Chloe and hugs her as she cries, and he cries too. She says, "Sorry. I'm so sorry for everything." Alex says, I know. Jeff and Kelly enter the barn quickly as they close the door behind them. Jeff says, "We need to move, there's a ton of them out there." Kelly looks and sees Gina's dead body as she looks at Alex and Chloe. Chloe gets up and says, "Sorry for everything, Kelly." Kelly says, "It's alright. I'm glad you're back." Alex grabs one of the dead cultists' guns as the four stand together. Alex asks, "Where are the others?" Jeff says, "I don't know. I got split off from them. But last I saw, they're fine." The group gets ready to fight as the barn door is breached by the dead. In slow motion, Alex, Chloe, Kelly, and Jeff walk towards the dead and beginning fighting their way through. They all make their way out of the barn into the outside of the destroyed farm. We see the farmhouse is completely ablaze. Jeff kills a bunch of the dead with his hatchet as Kelly shoots a bunch. Alex and Chloe stand together, killing one after another. We see Torn and Rosa standing on top of the tractor, surrounded by the dead. Alex, Chloe, Kelly, and Jeff make their way to the tractor as Kelly fires her gun in the air to draw them away from the tractor. The dead head towards Alex and his group as Torn and Rosa come in and help him kill all the infected. We then see Lennon and Jan come in to help. Alex looks at everyone and says, "We all here?" Rosa says, "Yep, we got everyone." Alex says, "Then let's make our way out. Let's all go home." The entire group fights their way through the horde. We see them kill every single infected in their way as they make it to the forest and leave the farm. As we see the Salvation completely overrun and mostly burnt to the ground. Later, our group is back at the motel. We see Rosa is patching up Alex's injuries. Rosa says, "You okay after all this?" Alex says, "I will be. I'm just glad this is over and we can go back to Massachusetts." Rosa says, "My dad and Lena are out there right now looking for a second vehicle, so we can all get there." Rosa finishes patching Alex up and says, "I'm gonna go keep watch." Alex sees Chloe leaning against the wall. He walks up to her. Chloe says, "So, we're going home?" Alex says, "Yep. Once Jeff and Lennon are back, we're hitting the road." Chloe says, "Guess there's a lot I gotta make up for, isn't there?" Alex says, "You do, but I'm here with you every step of the way." Chloe smiles and said, "Thanks for not giving up on me, Alex." Alex says, "And I never will. I will always be here for you, Chloe, till my last breath." Chloe says, "No, till our last breath." We see the two hug as they walk off, and we see Jeff and Lennon arrive with the car as Jeff says, "Well, people, hope you got some Twinkies because we got one heck of a road trip ahead of us." We see Jeff get out of the car and go to his truck as Alex, Chloe, and Kelly get inside with him. We see Torrin, Rosa, Lennon, and Jan get in the other car. We see the cars drive off as we see them driving to the sunrise as the storm finally clears.
Your hands upon a dead man's gun and you're looking down the sights. Your heart is worn and the seams are torn and they've given you a reason to fight. And you're not gonna take what they've got to give, and you're not gonna let them take your will to live, because they've taken enough and you've given them all you can give, and luck won't save them tonight. They're giving you a reason to fight.
We see Javier in an office. We see him looking at a map of the school Logan had given him. We hear a knock at the door. Javier says, "Come in." Kurt enters and says, "Nat said you wanted to see me?" Javier says, "Just checking in. Need to make sure everyone's ready for the siege tomorrow." Kurt says, "Yeah, just about. We got a little over. I really do not want this to get ugly. So please make sure to keep killing down to a minimum. Only kill if you have to, Kurt. I know how you can be sometimes, so please, do not do anything that does not need doing." Kurt says, "You got it, boss. I'll pass it down to the rest of them." Kurt goes to leave as Javier says, "Remember, Kurt, we are the solution, not the problem." Kurt says, "Got it." Kurt walks outside of the office as Javier lights a cigar and leans back in his chair as we pan out of his window and see a massive storm is brewing outside.